Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
Right now on the line is Rex Newman, President of Horticulture and Agricultural Teachers Association. There's been an announcement around a new secondary school food and fibre curriculum coming in from 2029. Hey Rex, how are you going there? Are you in Hawke's Bay today?
Yeah, we are, Sarah. Yeah, it's a cracker up here at the moment. We've got a school exchange with Gisborne Boys High School. Have come down to play junior rugby, football and hockey. So, yeah, very busy out the fields at the moment. So I've managed to sneak away for 10 or so minutes to have a chat.
Rex, I'm going to ask you just a sideline question here. I was talking to our producer, young intern Izzy. She went to Craighead, and we were talking about a particular school that we did an interchange with, the Dunedin schools, with the way in that Timor area. And there's always those schools that are a little bit more harder to play and a bit more scrappy. When the Gisborne kids come down, they'll be quite a force to reckon with the Hawke's Bay kids when it comes to sport, I'd imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's no quarter given with those sides, and yeah, it's pleased to see. I mean, I've been involved with the school 17 years. It's always a great exchange. You know, we're lucky to have them, and long may they last.
And they build such great friendships, hey, all those stories of billeting with families and bits and pieces. Sorry, I do detract from the topic, but
No, good for
great
me.
days they were.
Yeah.
So we're talking here around this new particular curriculum, and again, you know, the devil's in the detail with anything when it's being announced, but a major shake-up for secondary school students with 9 new industry-led subjects from 2029. There's a gap between classrooms and primary sector careers. What do you believe, from what you can read so far, is a positive or a concern from this?
Look, the limited information we've got on the new chain or the new rollout probably isn't going to help us much today. But surely, like we, as you well know, we fought hard last year to keep our curriculum going in secondary schools. We're trying to get more curriculum involvement in the primary school area, and anything that we can do to bridge the gap from the schools to the industry is only going to be a positive. But again, I'm probably as light on new updates there at this stage. With the we've been given a blurb, but not much else. So hopefully something that we're going to be working with industry to make sure that the rollout's going to be the right thing.
What would you like to see? And is the right thing calling it food and fibre systems as a subject the right approach?
I mean, you could call it whatever you like, but I've always thought agriculture and horticulture is probably as good as it's going to get. We've generally got the general gist of what agriculture and horticulture is, but look, if it does allow more people to probably have a bit of a think about what the program might be, well, then that can only be a good thing as well. And again, we've got 2.5 years to digest and get things underway. Hopefully, it'll be well before that, before we have stuff on the ground.
Do you think it's a reflection, as you sort of said there, Rex, of the changing face of the type of student? I mean, when I went to a traditional rural boarding school in Dunedin, if you had smarts about you, you were not encouraged at all in any way, shape, or form into the primary industry in any career. Do you see that could help broaden the appeal?
Yeah, I hope so. It's a fight that, I wouldn't say call it a fight, but it's certainly an issue since I've come into the role, since we worked with Kerry, Allen, and our team up at Hartis. That's always been a problem for us, is the schools. And there's some really good schools in rural areas that don't offer it for whatever reason that may be, whether they want to keep them in sciences for longer or whether they just don't see it as a subject that they think girls could go into, which I still scratch my head about that. Having 2 daughters that are going into the hopefully into the industry themselves, then yeah, I'd like to think that we could potentially, get some more out of it. Schools wanting to take it, or kids making enough noise to get those subjects in.
Do you think the lack of sort of systems approach to agricultural careers and the integration with your economics department, your science department, you know, even your English department from a rural media, agricultural journalism, communicators, you know, there's the integration of agriculture across schools?
And that's a good point, because I do find, not so much here, but certainly, you know, talking to other colleagues, you are standalone. The science guys might throw you a few students if you're lucky, but it's hard to get the teachers if they're not interested, and unless they have come from a background, or they are living on farms. And, you know, a lot of our teachers are living on farms and come in and bring amazing experiences to those classrooms. You do find it's a tricky subject to fill with educators.
So, with regards to Minister of Education Erica Stanford's confirmation of 9 new industry-led subjects, of one of them, do you understand, is a food and fibre systems approach? Do you, talking to your colleagues, do we need 9 industry-led, like, do we need to integrate at a school level the importance of where careers are? Or is that for sort of tertiary education level? What do you think? Sorry, what I'm trying to say is, what do you think the government's trying to achieve by linking that to what the industry needs are?
Yeah, my fear last time when we were basically taken out of the curriculum was that they were wanting an industry-led focus on agriculture and horticulture, so that the industry were going to basically lead the way for that teaching, which meant, in my eyes, that we were going to lose it, and at where we really need to capture them at that younger age. You know, the third and fourth formers, right through to even at primary school level. And if the subject wasn't there for them at the high school level, well, you know, when do they pick it up at a tertiary level if it is run as a vocation? So what I'm probably trying to say is we'd work with both. It's just, can we make sure, and I'll be campaigning flat out if there are changes, to make sure we keep it in schools.
Yeah, very valid point. Just lastly, from that schmozzle, we'll call it, when Kerry Allen got up and called out Maclay, who was out on the phone at that particular event when he needed to be paying attention to throwing the curriculum out, have you seen a shift in the particular coalition government's attitude towards the importance of ag in schools?
I reckon we have. And an example, I was lucky enough to go to the Primary Industry Summit up in Auckland, and the amount of people that were in the room that were supportive of what the teachers are doing, we were lucky to gain an award at that. And so once we were talking to people, there were some MPs that come up and say, yes, we support what you want to do. We sort of felt that, yeah, there is a shift, and probably, I mean, in a way, with Erica Stanford making her call at the time, might have galvanised a bit more of us together. But yeah, if I could probably say from my end, yeah, I reckon we're making a little bit more traction, and there's a lot more people on the ground that are either helping or backing us, and it's a good thing.
Keep up the good fight, Rex. You've been at it for a long, long time, and to be able to see great traction and see the students come through into actual careers. You know, when you've been around long enough, you get to see where they end up, which must be pretty exciting.
Oh, look, it's a real perk of the job. I'll be honest with you, Sarah. It's it's certainly what gets you out of bed in the morning. Certainly, you know, your weekends, you say you're at a dog trial, or you're at a show somewhere, and the next thing they're coming out and trying to take you out socially somewhere you probably shouldn't end up being. But you know, it's a real perk, and like I say, just so lucky to have this subject to teach.
Amazing. Thank you so very much, Rex Newman, there, who is the president of the Horticulture and Agricultural Teachers Association. I must say, my economics teacher at St Hilda's is not surprised whatsoever, someone who wouldn't shut up in class, ending up in this particular role myself.
Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lapp.